And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Waterella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Waterella. Waterella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Olive, Nina, and Esme. Olive, Nina, and Esme made Waterella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, said Olive, Nina, and Esme. One day, the king of Onlyville's messenger said, hear ye, the king of Onlyville is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Singling. But Waterella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Olive said, he's going to marry me. Nina said, no way, Olive. He's going to marry me. Esme said, both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, Waterella is so sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Singling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Waterella what is wrong. Why are you crying, Waterella? She asks. Waterella responds, I wanted her to go to the ball and marry Prince Singling. But I'm not welcome. The fairy godmother waved her wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! And then, Waterella's chores are all done. But the fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Waterella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin. Luckily, Waterella has one pumpkin. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! Again, and to turn Waterella's do-rag and clothes into a gown. I've never seen such a wonderful gown. I get a load of my glass slippers, and then the pumpkin into a coach drawn by 2 strong horses. The fairy godmother said, have fun, Waterella, but I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Waterella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Singling was wondering who he should marry. Olive, Nina, and Esme said all together, he's walking towards me. But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Waterella. Waterella and Prince Singling dance happily together. But later, Waterella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Singling was so worried that he might never see Waterella again. So he traveled around Onlyville to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where her Waterella and her stepsisters lived. He said, ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try this glass slipper? Olive is first, but her foot is too big. Nina is next, but her foot is too small. Esme is last, but her foot didn't fit either. Suddenly, Prince Singling noticed Wonderella singing. Wonderella said, Prince Singling, is that you? Prince Singling said, of course it's me. Wonderella gets so excited because she's having to have her Prince Singling back. And they lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story before bed enters doors. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to my video. Take care. Bye and good night, everybody. Andrew's Doers. Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Tourella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Tourella. Tourella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Tina, Winona, and Una. Tina, Winona, and Una made Tourella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tina, Winona, and Una all together. One day, the king of Doubleburg's messenger said, Hear ye, the king of Doubleburg, his majesty, is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and cross shall marry his son, Prince Twinning. But Tourella is not welcome. Her stepsister, Tina said, he's going to marry me. Winona said, no way, Tina, he's going to marry me. Una said, both of you are wrong, he's going to marry me. Later, Tourella is very sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Twinning. And her fairy godmother asks Tourella what's wrong by saying, why are you crying, Tourella? Tourella responds, sadly, I wanted to go to the ball and marry Prince Twinning. Her fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of double magic. She waves her magic wand and chants the magic words, dibbly dabbly dobbly doo. And all of Tourella's chores are done, but the fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Tourella, fetch me a pumpkin. Luckily, Tourella has 2 pumpkins. The fairy godmother waves her magic wand and chants the magic words, dibbly dabbly dobbly doo. Again, turning the 2 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 2 strong horses, and then Tourella's clothes into a gown and crown. I've never seen such a double-tasted gown. And get a lot of my glass slippers. Tourella is now ready for the ball. Her fairy godmother said, have fun, Tourella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Tourella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Twinning was wondering who he should marry. Tourella, of course. Tina, Winona, and Una shout out together, he's walking towards me! But he's not. But he is walking towards Tourella. Tourella and Prince Twinning danced happily together. But later, Tourella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince Twinning was so worried, afraid that she might never see Tourella again. So he traveled all around Doubleburg to find her, and brought the 2 glass slippers with him. He knocked on the door where Tourella, Tina, Winona, and Una lived. But instead of Tourella, he found Tina, Winona, and Una. Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on these 2 glass slippers? Prince Twinning asks. Tina is first, but her feet are too big. Winona is next, but her feet are too small. Una is last, but her feet are on the right size either. Suddenly, Prince Twinning noticed Tuarella's sweet singing. Tuarella shouts excited, "Prince Twinning, is that you?" Prince Twinning responded, "Of course it's me. You are from my father's ball. I love you. Will you marry me?" Tuarella gets so excited because he's happy to have Prince Twinning back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and buy our merchandise. Take care. Bye. Oh, yeah. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Three-Rella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Ready to hear it, Andrews Doers? Here goes. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Three-Rella. Three-Rella had 5 ugly, mean stepsisters named Tasha, Hannah, Rena, and the twins Ellie and Emmy. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy made Three-Rella do all the chores. "Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all," said Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy all together. One day, the king of Tripleville's messengers said, "Hear ye, hear ye, the king of Tripleville is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Stripling." But Three-Rella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Tasha said, "He's going to marry me." Hannah said, "No way, Tasha, you're wrong. He's going to marry me." Rena said, "Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me." Ellie said, "All 3 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me." Emmy said, "Are you kidding, twin sister? He's going to marry me." Later, Three-Rella is so sad because she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Stripling. Suddenly, Three-Rella's fairy godmother asks her what's wrong by saying, "Why are you crying, Three-Rella?" Three-Rella then responds, "I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Stripling." The fairy godmother said, "I can help with a bit of magic." She waves her magic wand and chants the magic words, "Triply, tropply, tropply, true." And then Three-Rella's chores are all done, but her fairy godmother is not done yet. He said, "Three-Rella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin." Luckily, Three-Rella has 3 pumpkins. The fairy godmother waves her magic wand and chants the magic words, "Triply, tropply, tropply, true," again, and to turn the 3 pumpkins into a handsome coat drawn by 6 strong horses. And then Three-Rella's do-rag is redressed into a gown and crown. Three-Rella said, "I've never seen such a triple-tastic gown. And get a load of my glass slippers." Three-Rella's fairy godmother said, "Have fun, Three-Rella, but I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before." Three-Rella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Stripling was wondering who he should marry. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ella, and Emmy say all together, "He's walking towards me." But he's not walking towards any of them. But he is walking towards Three-Rella. Three-Rella and Prince Stripling dance happily together. But later, Three-Rella realizes it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Trembling was so worried, afraid that he might never see Furorella again. So he traveled around Troubleville to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where Furorella and her ugly, mean stepsisters lived. But instead of Furorella, he finds Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy, and said, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper?" Tina first, Hannah second, Rena third, and the twins last, but none of their feet fit. Suddenly, Prince Trembling notices Furorella singing. She exclaimed, "Prince Trembling, is that you?" Prince Trembling then said, "Of course it's me." Furorella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Trembling back. And he doesn't need to put the glass slipper back on Furorella's foot because it's so uncomfortable. And then they both lived happily ever after. The end. And Andrew's yours. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything and buy our merchandise, etc. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Furorella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. What? Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Furorella. Furorella had 4 ugly, mean stepsisters named Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona. Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona made Furorella do all the chores. Sweep the floors. Wash the dishes. Do it all. Said Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona all together. One day, the king and Quadrillihan's messengers said, "Hear ye! Hear ye! The king of Quadrillihan is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Forting." But Furorella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. "He's going to marry me," said Fiona. Ophelia said, "No way, Fiona! He's going to marry me." Ursula said, "Both of you are wrong! He's going to marry me." Ramona said, "All 3 of you are wrong! He's going to marry me." Later, Furorella is so sad because she can't go to the ball and marry Prince 14, while her fairy godmother asks her what's wrong by saying, "Why are you crying, Furorella?" Furorella responds, "I got lots of chores to be done. I can't go to the ball and marry Prince 14. Furorella's fairy godmother said, "I can help with a bit of magic." Furorella's fairy godmother chants the magic words, "Quiddity, quaddity, quaddity, quoo," and waves her magic wand. Because of that, all of Furorella's chores are all done. But Furorella's fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, "Furorella, go fetch me a pumpkin." Luckily, Furorella has 4 pumpkins. Furorella's fairy godmother said, and then chants the magic words, "Quiddity, quaddity, quaddity, quoo," and waves her magic wand to turn the 4 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 8 strong horses. And then Furorella's clothes into a gathered crowd. Furorella said, "I've never seen such a quadtastic gown." and get a lot of my glass slippers. Her fairy godmother said, have fun, mighty Forella. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will turn back to the way it was before. Forella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Martin was wondering who he should marry. Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona said all together, he's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Forella. Forella and Prince 14 dance happily together. But later, Forella realizes it's midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince 14 was so worried that he might never see Forella again. So he traveled all around Quadroon Lake to find her. And brought the 2 tiny glass slippers with him. He knocked on the door of the home where Forella and her stepsisters live. But instead of Forella, he finds Fiona, Ophelia, Ursula, and Ramona. He then said, ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can you try on these glass slippers? Fiona is first, but her feet are too big. Ophelia said, but her feet are too small. Ursula and Ramona did the same thing, but their feet don't fit either. Suddenly, Prince 14 notices Swarla's sweet singing. The glass slippers fit! Forella gets so excited because she's happy to have her Prince 14 back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything. And if you want to see some sequels, tell your friends about it. And then, take care, Andrew Stores. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Fiverella, based on the story of Cinderella. Andrew's Doors, I hope you enjoyed it. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Fiverella. Fiverella had four ugly, mean stepsisters. Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella. Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella made Fiverella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Ella. One day, the king of Fiveham's messenger said, hear ye, the king of Fiveham is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Quintabling. But Fiverella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Fiona said, he's going to marry me. Isabel said, no way, Fiona. He's going to marry me. Verona said, both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Ella said, all 3 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, Fiverella is so sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Quintupling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother asks, why are you crying, Fiverella? Fiverella responds, I got a lot of chores to be done. I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Quintupling. The fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic. Quantity, quantity, woo! The fairy godmother's magic did all the chores and then turned Fiverella's do-rag and ribbed dress into a gown and crown. Fiverella said, "I've never seen such a fantastic dress! And get a load of my glass slippers." But she's not done yet. The fairy godmother said, "Fetch me. Fiverella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin." Luckily, Fiverella has 5 pumpkins, and the fairy godmother turned the 5 pumpkins into a handsome coach. It's drawn by 10 strong horses. The fairy godmother said, "Have fun, Fiverella, but I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken." Fiverella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Quintone said, "Who should I marry?" Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Alice said all together, "He's walking towards me." Well, he's not walking towards any of them, but Prince Quintupling is walking towards Fiverella. Fiverella and Prince Quintupling danced happily together. But later, Fiverella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And when she was running so fast, she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Quintupling was so worried that she might never see Fiverella again. So he traveled all around 5 a.m. to find her, bringing the tiny glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door where Fiverella and her 4 ugly mean stepsisters live. Prince Quintone said to her stepsisters, Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper?" Fiona is first, but her foot is too small. Isabella is next, but her foot is too big. Fiona and Verona and Ella are last, but neither of the feet match. Suddenly, Prince Quintupling noticed Fiverella's sweet singing. "Prince Quintupling, is that really you?" "Of course it's me, Fiverella." Fiverella is so excited because she's happy to have her Prince Quintupling back. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. And take care, Andrews doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Bye.